All right, we are recording. Okay, hi everybody. So obviously, as you know, I am not Michelle Lenahan. I am filling in for Michelle tonight. As you know, Michelle did have a loss in the family, so our hearts go out to her right now. I just wanted to actually get started by introducing myself. I know there's a lot of names on here right now that I don't know. A lot of you might not know who I am, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me, and then we're going to hop right into our boot camp tonight. So. And if you guys have questions at any time, feel free, please stop me, interrupt me, send a message to the group chat. I'll try to check it as much as I can. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brittany Davis. I'm an area manager with Arbonne. So I started with Arbonne about 4.5 years ago. I was introduced by my friend Courtney Salerno at the time. It's Trudeau now. And, you know, I jumped in after being told about the income that I could get from Arbonne. So Courtney introduced me because she saw a post that I put up on Facebook. I was looking for another form of income, and she reached out without any hesitation and just with the most confidence said, you should just do what I do. I can teach you how to make, you know, a couple $100 a month. And that's really what I was looking for. So I kind of refer to myself as the unicorn consultant because I was the one that had absolutely no hesitation. I just, you know, closed my eyes and jumped in and barely asked any questions and just ran with it. So here we are 4.5 years later. You know, when I first started, I went district within a couple months and I kind of stayed there for a while, and it wasn't until last spring that I relaunched my business. I had dropped back to consultant as of last April, so I had to start all over. I went district again and then went area by the end of October. So it was a boot camp very similar to this that, you know, taught me how to grow my business. I'm part of the Wilcox region, soon to be nation. And that's why I love this boot camp call. And, you know, when I was reached out to cover for the call tonight, I just said absolutely, because this is exactly what got me from consultant to district to area, and that is what I want for you guys. So we're going to tackle a topic tonight that I think is super, super important, and it's overcoming objections. So obviously, it doesn't matter how long you've been in Arbonne, whether you've been in for 2 minutes or 2 years, we all get objections and hesitations, all of us. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You know, you'll hear people make excuses daily as to why they can't do something or they won't do something. And I'm sure it's not only in your business, it's just in life, right? You know, people, I mean, I'm sure you could give me a laundry list of crazy excuses you have heard. And this was probably the kids in middle school that said their dog ate their homework that are giving you these types of excuses, I would assume. So tonight, I just really want to talk about the language of, you know, how to handle objections and move on to the next step. So I'm going to start off on a positive note with the positive side of objections. So first of all, if you are a consultant in Arbonne, you have heard the word no. You have heard some sort of hesitation from people. So to me, I like to say no just means not now. You know, people may have their reasons why they don't want a product or they don't want the business now. And to me, that just, when I say no, that just means not now, not at this time. It's not a fit for me right now. That doesn't mean that circumstances can't change. I have a few consultants on my very own team who were in this very situation. Samantha, I'm looking at you right now. She's waving. But that was one that, you know, circumstances changed and she needed the business at a later time, and here she is. So the good news is that the more people that you talk to take a look at the business, the more objections you're going to hear. And that's good news because the more confidence you will get in responding to those objections and hesitations. So I just want to start by saying that a lot of what we hear on the other end when we ask someone to take a look at the business or the products, their hesitation is stemming from us. So I really want to start with you as a person, as a consultant in your business. So things that you should always be paying attention to, mindset for one, you know, what's going on in between your ears, because that can control a lot of what you're seeing happening in your business. So not only mindset, but your body language, your voice, your posture, your attitude, and your confidence. These are all things that people are going to mimic. They're going to see how you're acting, and they're going to look at your business in the way that you're showing them the business. So if I were to call Sam and just be like, hey, Sam, I don't know if you've heard about like this Arbonne thing, but I just wanted to see if you want to come over and have coffee and like talk about it. She's going to be like, no, thanks. Absolutely not. But if I said, hey, Sam, I'm really excited. I just tried these protein shakes last week and they are amazing. I would love for you to come over and try them. Do you want to come over on Saturday? It's a totally different tone of voice. And that's what Sam is going to respond to better. So the good thing about this is that you can adjust all of these things about yourself just by practicing. Sit in front of your computer and record yourself if you have to. Sit in front of a mirror, like look at how you hold yourself, how you talk to people, what your body language is telling them. Are you sitting presenting with your arms crossed, or do you have your arms down? Do you look relaxed and comfortable? Like, these are things that people are going to pick up on, and the more that you pick up on them yourself, the better they're going to respond to you. So you'll notice that as you start to work on these things, the hesitations and objections that you're getting from people will actually slow down or seem to go away entirely, because you're not giving out that vibe anymore. So it doesn't matter if you've been here, like I said, 2 minutes or 2 years, always start with you. And if you're ever having, a bad day, then just stop your reach outs for the day. Just walk away. It happens. Sometimes it happens more often than we'd like, and that's perfectly fine. So when you ask someone to take a look, they're going to be able to pick up immediately if there's a crack in your belief anywhere. So the 4 areas that I want you guys to look at before we even hop into the hesitations, because there's 4 really important parts to your belief system. The first one is our industry. So do you believe in network marketing as an industry? Do you honestly believe that people can be successful with this? Do you know people that are successful with this? You yourself are successful. Maybe someone on your team is very successful. Maybe you use Michelle and Kate as, our leaders and tell people about their success. But do you believe in the industry as a whole? If you don't, or if there's a crack in your belief there's plenty of books that you can read about network marketing. It is just a genius business in general. It's kind of the route that a lot of businesses are starting to go with 100% commission-based structure. So that's one part of your belief that you can look at. The second one is Arbonne as a company. Do you believe in Arbonne? So if you feel like there's something there that you don't really trust or you don't really believe, look into it more. Educate yourself, ask questions. Arbonne is an absolutely incredible company. We've been around for almost 40 years. So there's a lot of information that you can find out about this company and help grow your belief in that area. The third one is the products. Do you lack belief in our products? So the best thing that you can do for yourself as a consultant, and we say this all the time, is become a product of the product. So are you using the products as new consultants? It's very hard for you to go out and talk to someone about our nutrition line if you're not using the nutrition line. Because when they ask you your opinion, if your first sentence is, well, I haven't tried it yet, it's going to kind of spark some questions in their head. So make sure that you're using at least some of the products. And if it's something that someone asks you about that you haven't used yet, be like, oh, I've been dying to get my hands on that, but let me ask Colleen, because I know Colleen has a great story about this. Just build the confidence there. And then the very last one that you want to focus on, again, I'm coming back to this, is belief in yourself. So you'll be able to tell the people that have been in Arbonne for a long time, they all have a very positive mindset. Negative mindsets do not last in network marketing, because you have to believe in yourself first and foremost. So that is probably the most important thing that you could possibly do is, put faith in yourself, personal development. A question I used to get all the time is, what are you reading? And I'd be like, nothing right now, maybe Twilight. That's not going to build you as a person. It's a great book, don't get me wrong. But always, always, always be reading something for personal development. Pick something up, read 10 pages and just, build that belief and that confidence in yourself. And that will help you handle hesitations so much. So that being said, let's get right into it. So where do objections come from? So obviously, like I said, the initial trigger for how someone's going to respond is you. It's what we say, it's how we say it, it's how we come across, it's how we appear, it's how we hold ourselves. It's all of those things. So let me give you an example. Say I show up on a one-on-one, I'm meeting a girlfriend at a coffee shop, and I walk in, I'm 10 minutes late, my hair is something like this, my sweatshirt's falling off, I don't even have all of my papers in a bag, everything's just a mess. I walk in and I drop my bag down and I'm all just stressed and anxious. What is that going to put out to this person that you're meeting with. It just shows, oh my God, she's a frazzled mess. She doesn't even know what she's doing. I totally don't want to be a part of this, right? And another thing that I've heard people do is that when they sit down for a one-on-one, they might not want to take out their what is Arbonne sheet. You guys, this business, the biggest thing is that it's duplicatable. So if anything, you don't want to sit there and try to show this person that you're a know-it-all and you don't even need to take our presentation out of your purse. No, take it out, show them, this is exactly what I do. It's this sheet right here. That's it. It's very easy to learn, and I'm just going to go through it with you, because the more simple that you can make it, the better people are going to respond to you for that. So if you are just a person that you're confident, you have a solid why, you have a vision of where you're going with Arbonne and how you're getting there, and you're laser focused with a plan, and you really have a vision. I have a vision board that has all these pretty pictures on it, but do I really have a vision and understanding the difference? Because once you have that, people are going to see that and they're going to want to join you, and you'll see your hesitations diminish and diminish until they're gone. So the underlying factor with handling objections is that you don't want to be defensive. So I know for me, Arbonne is my baby. Whenever anyone says anything bad about it, the first thing I want to do is go, oof, like, how could you say that? Like, this is my baby. How could you say that about this company? But you don't want to do that, because people are going to take offense to that, right? They're going to be like, oh, why are you getting so defensive? If you're getting defensive, it's because you must be wrong. And we don't want that to happen when we have conversations with people. What we want to do instead is we want to figure out whatever their objection is, why that's their objection. And the way that we figure that out is to ask them questions. So I'm going to go through a couple scenarios for you, but just so you know, when people give you an objection or a hesitation, it could be for a few reasons. It could be that they genuinely do not understand what you're asking or telling them. It could be coming from a place of fear that, network marketing is just unknown to them, and that's fearful to them, so they don't want to talk about it. Or it could be the opposite. They could have already been with a network marketing company. They could have had a bad experience, and they don't want to go there again. Or it just might be that they aren't confident in themselves and they don't believe in themselves, so they are giving you some sort of excuse. It could be any of those factors, or it could be a combination of those factors. So however you respond, you just want to always stay real, be compassionate, and don't go on the attack and don't get defensive, because those are not ways that people will respond. So hesitations, the most common, and I'm sure all of you will agree with this and probably have some to tack on, is I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money to start, or I don't have enough money to buy your product. I don't know enough people. Isn't this a pyramid scheme? Or I'm not like you. I couldn't do sales. I'm not confident. There's a billion different objections that people can tell you. So I'm going to start off with the big one is I don't have enough time. So I feel like every person I talk to, this is a common factor. And we're all busy. And, when people tell us we don't have enough time, our first thing is like, well, I'm busy too. So, I'm doing it, so why can't you do it? And people are like, well, that's great for you that you work 3 jobs, but I'm really busy. I can't do it. So when they say something like, I don't have enough time, what they're really telling you is, I don't fully understand how being in this business is going to create more time freedom in my life. That's basically what they're telling you. So like I said, we don't want to get defensive. Don't say that I'm way busier than you. I have 3 jobs, blah, blah, blah. So let's just answer that with a question. So when they say, Mary, I'm looking at you, so I'm going to use your face example. When I call Mary and I ask Mary to take a look, and Mary says, oh, Brittany, I already worked 2 times and I have 7 children. I just really don't have enough time. A great response to that is, okay, Mary, I totally understand. How much time do you think you would need to dedicate to Arbonne? So now, instead of telling you, oh, I only work 5 hours a week, or I already have 3 jobs, I'm asking you, well, how much time do you actually think this is going to take? And let Mary come out with a response. So the most important thing that I can do there is to just shush my mouth. Don't answer for Mary, and let Mary answer for herself. Because she'll probably come back and she might say, well, I really don't know, but I'm going to assume there's a lot of time needed, at which point I can then fill her in. She's giving me the invitation to give her the answer to that question. So the best way that you can do that is to respond to them with a if I would you statement. So I reach out to Mary, ask Mary, if she wants to take a look. She tells me she doesn't have enough time. She thinks that she would have to put in a lot of hours. I could just say, well, if I could show you how I spend only 3 hours a week and I'm building this business alongside my 3 other jobs, would you be willing to take a peek? So now, instead of telling her I only work 3 hours a week, I'm saying, if I were to show you how I've done things the way I'm doing them, would you be willing to listen? So that's just a great thing to say. If I were to give you this, would you be willing, to listen, to take a peek, or any of those things? So you could say, if I were to show you how possible it is to fit Arbonne, in among your day and your busy day-to-day schedule, would you be willing? And just see what they say. And basically do this, as long as the objections go. You might get someone that says, I don't have enough time, and you answer that one, and then they ask you another question, then you answer that one. So just keep responding by asking questions, and you kind of just want to dig a little deeper and find out, where is this objection coming from? Is this just an excuse, or do they really feel this way? So just understand, most people have this preconceived idea of what it takes to build Arbonne to the level that it's a 6-figure income. They think there's, I can't even tell you how many hours people think I work a week. And I'm like, nope, maybe 2, 3 here and there. It's really not as much as you think it is. So once they start to understand that and grasp it, they can start to build a bigger vision for themselves. So second objection I would say is the industry. So show of hands, how many of you have ever had someone say, isn't that a pyramid scheme? Oh, yeah. So I've gotten this plenty of times. You ask someone to take a look and they say, I don't want to be involved in one of those pyramid scheme things. So instead of going on the attack, like I said, since Arbonne's your baby and you want to defend Arbonne and say why it's not, just ask, well, what is it I've said so far that gave you the idea that it is that type of thing? Let them tell you. Maybe, you said something without realizing it, that they just took it a wrong way, or maybe, they knew somebody in another company and that's just what they're getting from you. So again, you just want to continue on, but instead of preaching back to them, I'll tell you why it's not a pyramid scheme. Just tell them what Arbonne is. Don't even use, I hate the words pyramid scheme. Don't even use it. Just say, this is what Arbonne is. Arbonne is a network marketing company, but it's completely effort-based. And my team and I, if we build it big enough, I can pass the person that brought me into this business, which if it is what you're saying it is, that wouldn't even be possible. And not to mention, we've been around for 39 years. We'd probably be shut down by now. So just educate them and just tell them, after you answer that question, you say, is there anything else you need clarity on that we've talked about? Don't hit them with do you have any more questions? Because they might just throw crazy questions at you out of everywhere. So, after the things we've discussed, do you need me to clarify anything we've talked about? And don't be nervous to move them right from that conversation into their next step, because your prospects, when you're talking to them, you're the one in charge. They're looking to you to say, okay, well, you answered my questions. So you don't say, okay, great, talk to you later. You want to say, okay, so this is how we're going to go ahead and get you signed up. You want to make sure that you're leading them to the next step, because you know better. You are the consultant and you are the leader, and they're going to do exactly what you show them to do. So you just want to help them through it. You want to rationalize their thoughts as best you can. So the next objection is products. So prospect is at a presentation, say, and they're flipping through a catalog and they look at a cleanser and they go, oh, your products are way more expensive than what I use now. Again, let's not get it defensive, because if you are an Arbonne consultant and you know the value and you know the worth of our products are not expensive. They are right on par. But that is not how you can talk to this person, because clearly you're not going to see eye to eye. So a great response to that is, well, why don't you tell me more about what you're using right now and about a little bit about the brand that you use? Get them to tell you, oh, I shop at Target and I use the $7 cleanser because it's all I can afford, but it causes this. Get the conversation going. You want to be interested, not interesting. You want to learn from them, what's going on. And then a great place to start is just say, hey, I know that you're looking to at least replace that foundation that you don't even really like. So why don't you try at least one of our products and see what you think? Because let's be honest, sometimes people don't want to jump into an entire ASVP. Sometimes they just need to dabble in a few products because our products sell themselves, guys. Once they start using them, they're in. So if they look at the ASVP and they say, I really can't afford that right now. Okay, well, let's start with a cleanser and a moisturizer, because those are two great steps that can get you going on our products. Because once they use them, they're going to be calling you and they're going to want the whole ASVP. So this is where it really pays to know your playbook, guys. Know our catalog, know the different product offerings, know how they're going to help people, because you're the expert here. The more that you know about the products, the more prepared you are, the better people are going to receive that information. So you just want to help them understand why our ingredient policy is different, the science behind it, and just basically, show them the difference between the product that they're using and the products that we have. So next objection is, I don't have any money. This is another very important one. And let me just start by saying there is a big difference between the I don't have any money people that are actually broke, that can't afford to pay for the oil to come in the winter, they can't afford to pay their cable bill. There's actual broke, and then there's people that are just picky choosy with their money, that they do have money, they just don't want to spend it on what you're talking about. So there's a big difference here. So make sure that going into this, you know which one it is. If they just came back from Disney last week, you can probably take that as Arbonne is just not their priority right now. But when someone says, I don't have any money, a great response is, well, how much do you think it would take to get started in Arbonne? Because generally, guys, most network marketing companies, I know a few off the top of my head, it's minimal hundreds, in some cases thousands of dollars. So people know that. People know what their friends have been through with other companies and put money into. And so they're just going to be on the fence because they think that Arbonne is going to cost the same amount as what their friend paid for that other company. So if you just ask them, well, how much do you think it would take to get started? And they say, well, I've heard it's hundreds or thousands to even start a business. Just tell them, well, if I could show you how to get started with our $49 sign-up fee, and we can sit down and come up with a plan together of getting you started on your budget, would you be comfortable with that? Because I'm sure that's going to change the whole story, because you're not saying, well, it's only $49. You can't afford $49. You're saying, if I were to show you and sit down with you and come up with a plan that you're comfortable with, would you be okay with that? Because chances are they're going to be like, okay, well, if you can work with my budget, then yeah, because I need to make money. And if you have someone that really, really says, listen, I'm broke, I can't pay the cable this month, we're canceling cable, then you guys, they need this business because they sell 2 ASVPs and they can pay that bill. So you don't want to, you want to tread lightly with those people. You don't want to force it on them. You don't want to make them feel like, well, you're so poor, you should just be doing this. You don't want to come off that way at all. You really just want to come from a place of genuinely trying to help them. So a good way around it is, you could say something like, well, what if, hypothetically speaking, you had an extra income, that could give you that little extra that you need every month so that you wouldn't have to turn down, opportunities. You could go on, spontaneous trips. You could, go away for the weekend. You could buy a nice birthday present for a friend, just not be stressed over money. Would that interest you? Because chances are they would be interested. They're just nervous and they don't know how to approach it. And then the last one is, I'm not a salesperson, or I'm not like you, I could never do that sort of thing. So if someone says that to you, oh, I could never do what you do, I'm not like you, I'm not a salesperson, I wouldn't be good at it. Just ask them, well, could you explain a little bit further what you mean by that, or why you think you wouldn't be good at it? Really get them to open up to you and tell you why they think that. Because they'll probably say, the people that do these kinds of things, they just harass their friends and family and they pressure them into buying stuff. And that's totally not who I am. I'm totally not a salesperson. Again, with the if I were you, if I were to show you how to make an income simply just by using great products and sharing them with your friends and family, then would you be willing to take a peek? So, show them the difference. We're not, my whole team, if you could ask them what's the one word I hate, it's sales. Sales, I said, never use the sales word to my face. We are sharers. We are not salesmen. If you want to sell something, go to a car lot, because that is not what I am about. So You always just want to be in the business of sharing, not selling. People don't like feeling like they're being sold to, and they will know if they are being sold to. It is not a good feeling. It is a bad feeling. So here's the thing, guys. When you ask people whether it's about the products, it's about the business, whatever it is, some people will, some people won't. So what? It happens to all of us. It's just how it is. You know, if there's, you know, the person that you really, really want on your team and they're giving you total pushback, they're ignoring you, just move on. You can't revive a dead horse. You know, we always use that analogy. Just don't let it drag you down. Just keep going, keep moving. So just to kind of recap, you know, everything that we went over tonight. And if you guys have questions, please unmute yourself and hop on. But just remember, so sometimes the objection that people are giving you is not their actual objection. It is just their answer to getting out of the conversation as easy as possible. And they think that, you know, if they tell you, I don't have enough time, they just be like, oh, okay, then see you later. And you're just going to let it go. So whenever people give you these objections, just dig a little deeper, you know, right from the start when you meet someone, whether it's in person or it's a presentation. Just genuinely be interested in them. Find out something about them. You know, people will tell you everything you want to know. They'll give you their why without even realizing they're giving you their why. So Bree says persistent pays for both of you. Yes, exactly. Be persistent. You know, as consultants, we need to start off on the right foot the second we meet these people. So just, you know, believe in yourself from the start. Learn about the prospect, find out what it is that's their trigger. Like, you know, are they struggling with student loans? You know, would they kill to go on a nice vacation? Do they hate their job? Or maybe they love their job, they just don't have enough time. You know, what if money wasn't an object? Or what are they passionate about? You know, everyone has something that, you know, they'll tell you if you just get the conversation going. So really your goal is for your prospect to just see Arbonne as the vehicle that it is to help them achieve whatever it is that they want, whether it is time freedom, whether it is travel, whether it is just another paycheck. You know, don't be fearful of the objections that you get, because honestly, guys, they're a cry for more information. When people even give you an answer, they're answering you. Okay, they're not ignoring you. There's going to be the people that you'll send a message to and there'll be crickets. And then you have to write back 2 days later and be like, hey, you didn't answer. Like, there's people that are going to ignore you, but the people that take the time to respond and give you an answer, they want to know something because they're at least getting back to you. They're putting something out there. So, you know, find out, what did they put on the back burner? What did they want to do that they haven't done yet? What is their dream that they haven't been able to achieve? You know, maybe they got married young, had kids, and they have this huge passion that they just never got to do because they started a family instead. So, you know, always just wrap up your conversations, just asking them, you know, would you like me to clarify anything we talked about today? You know, you really just want to handle the objection, ask if there's any reason why they wouldn't want to get started. Say, you know, have I answered all your questions? Is there anything you need me to clarify? You know, is there any reason, or is there anything stopping you as to why you don't want to get started right now? So just know that what you allow, and you will get what you allow, and you'll get what you expect. So if you go into the situation expecting a certain outcome, there's a good chance you'll get it. So make sure you're going into the situation expecting the best outcome and expecting that person to say, you know what, you're right, I am interested, I do need this. So 4-step process for overcoming objections. Hear the objection, ask more questions, handle their answer, and move on to the next one. And just continue until you've come to a point that they are either ready to start or they're saying there's absolutely isn't for me. But we know it's going to be ready to start because it's Arbonne, and why wouldn't they? So again, guys, like I said in the beginning, it all comes back to you. So just, oh, sorry, we're getting messages. I'm using the wrong mouse. It all comes back to you, but you know, people will join you if they can see that you're really just on a mission to go to the top, that you know where you're going, you have your blinders on, you have a laser focus, you're confident. You know, they're going to be attracted to that, and they're going to want that. So like we always say, you want to know the way, you want to show the way, and you want to go the way, and that's it. Do you guys have any questions? I can see chats popping up. Please unmute yourselves if you'd like. Everything. Mary, can you explain further? I'll unmute you. There you go.
Yeah, is there a call to action? Like, do you want like homework? Like, do you want, make it a goal this week as you're doing one to try to go through these objections and do this if I would you, like try to practice this?
Absolutely. I wasn't asked to assign homework, but I will absolutely give you homework. If you want, a good thing to do would just be look through your recent, if you have a recent conversation history or just conversations in your head that you know have happened, and write out this is what happened, and this is what I said, and how could I have responded better. Just someone the other day asked me about Arbonne, said something about a pyramid scheme, and my answer was not what it should have been because they caught me so it was such a random moment and they caught me so off guard. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have answered like that. Because that's the best thing you can do is, ask them questions, figure out why they're feeling that way, and then shush. And then always provide the if I were, would you.
That's great. You know what? I'd love to add in about when you talked about like expectation when you're going to an appointment and your attitude, how you showed up, as you said, and your sweatsuit or whatever that is, and you're late and all, really getting clear about your mission, your vision, which you spoke to. But we're here to serve people, and really owning that and really having this belief and this positive expectation, you show up in a whole other way. You definitely show up in a whole other way. And was there something else about the vision, the belief, the attitude? And I love how you're segueing right in, like, all right, let's get you started. Like that's your assumption. Like you don't have any other questions. That's what I was going to say. Back to like time, not enough time. So today I have been interacting with someone. She's like, oh, I'm so busy. I have 4 kids, full-time care for my Nana, who's 93, like 24/7. My husband just got laid off. That's her scenario. So I could have said, no worries. She definitely wants to stay in touch. She's like, I'm very, very interested, like in more like the 30-day and things like that. So let's definitely stay in touch. So I responded in a way like, don't think I'm crazy, but do you want to take a look at this? And I shared Danielle Pearson. Here she is, mama 6. And she fits family first and this business around it. And I said, there's no downside to extra income at all. And I said, when I got laid off several years ago, I am really grateful that I had the Arbonne income. So I sent her a couple on Arbonne's. I sent her a little video of Danielle. I'm like, let me know if you want to check my phone. My schedule's flexible. So I think It's just, we have so much to offer that we have to truly believe that, and then we want to serve people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What were you going to say, Bree? Thank you, Mary.
Okay, so my question is, obviously you're having this full conversation on the phone or on FaceTime. How are you getting them? What's an effective way of getting them to actually get together with you or get on the phone with you? Are you just saying like, hey, I'm going to call you because I know your personality. You're like, hey, I'll call you in 5 minutes. And they're like, okay.
So do you mean it's someone that I've never talked to about Arbonne before? Or do you mean like the initial conversation?
So let's say you share a video and then they hit you back with a question right away.
Like awesome question. So whenever I reach out to somebody, you always lead with the business, because you're not going to offer someone a protein shake, because then if they don't want it, you're not going to be like, all right, do you want to join my team? And then be like, I wouldn't even drink your shake. Why would I join your team? So always start with the business. So yes, my steps are I reach out on Facebook or Messenger or whatever. I ask them, if they would, Kate is saying, okay. I ask them if they, would be interested in taking a peek. And if they say yes, they'll take a peek. I send them a quick DA. I send them either, I just recorded my own DA, or before that I was using Peyton's DA, because I feel like a lot of girls my age could really relate to that. And I follow up with them. And if they say they're interested, I don't let them ask any questions through a chat. I book the one-on-one immediately. You do not want to start answering their questions through chat or even over the phone, like get in front of them, you know, let them see you, book that one-on-one. That is the best advice I ever got. The second they're willing to take a look, take it offline, you know, get in front of them, start building that relationship. Because if you start going back and forth and you answer a question in a text and they don't like the answer, you're gone. So you want to get in front of them as quick as you can. And another thing, you know, if they're not close, if you can't get in front of them, schedule a Zoom call and get your upline on it. You know, I used to take offense if Courtney or Kate wanted to get on my one-on-ones. I felt like, what, am I not doing a good enough job myself? But no, you guys, they are there to edify you, to show this new person, you know, the Arbonne side of you that person may not see. And that is going to help grow your business in a whole different light than you could ever imagine. So if they're local, yes, get them on a one-on-one immediately. Or if you have to get on Zoom, always invite your upline, or get your upline local if that works too.
So what's some effective verbiage switching them from via text? You say, okay, well, I have an opening my schedule, let's book it, or
yeah. And I try to not sound so much like a hair salon, even though I keep that in my mind that like I need to book my calendar the same way my hairstylist books her calendar. No, absolutely. So when I ask them for the one-on-one, I ask, what are 2 days a week that you generally have open? And I let them tell me. And then I say, okay, Saturday and Monday. I have Saturday at 2 or Monday at 9, which is better for you? So right then, I'm giving them 2 times. I'm not giving them, do you want Saturday or do you want to get back to me? I'm just giving them 2 times. So they only have 2 possible answers, Saturday or Monday. So in that case, they're way more likely to say, oh, that one works for me, and book it right then and there. Same thing goes when booking events. You know, if you're gonna host a virtual workshop or a virtual presentation, I always do 2 back-to-back, Wednesday and Thursday at 8. So when I call and invite somebody, I say, okay, I'll be on live Wednesday at 8 or Thursday at 8. Which one can you get on? So in nowhere am I saying, can you make it Wednesday or can you not make it? I'm not giving them the choice to not make it. I'm giving them the choice to make it to one of the 2 events. So I found that doing the same with my one-on-ones has been very successful. But great question. Thanks, Bree. I don't know what you're cooking, but chips on my way.
Thanks.
Does anybody else have questions? No? Sam, was that a yes? Oh, no. Okay. All right. I will stop the recording.